Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another Daily Drop here on TarHeelIllustrated.com. I'm THL publisher Andrew Jones, and the topic today, Carolina basketball. I know there's a ton of football stuff going on. I know that we're knee-deep in a coaching search, and we are providing regular, extensive, confirmed, sourced notes on our board, updates on our board every day, and you must be a premium subscriber to access that information. It's just $8.33 a month. Unfortunately, if you didn't take advantage of our special over the weekend, it's over. It was just $208 a month for a one-year subscription, 75% off, but it's still a great deal at $8.33 for a one-year subscription. You can give it away as a gift during this holiday season as well. Okay, we talked to Hubert Davis on Monday. I've got a drop we're going to run a little bit later about the assist to turnover numbers and points allowed off turnovers in Maui. That was one of the primary things that concerned Hubert. Another area of concern, and really I was surprised he answered the question, is about the possibility of lineup changes coming. And one of the reasons is because of how consistently the Tar Heels have stunk early in games. And they have not been good in the first half for the most part this year. For example, in the opener, Elam was up 19-17. They were hanging around. Tar Heels did not play well out of the gate. They go to Kansas a few days later, and they're down 20 in the first half. They come home a week later to play American University, and the Eagles led 18-13 at one point. Just bad starts. Hubert was asked in the press conference before they went to Hawaii about the slow starts, and he kind of shrugged it off. He didn't shrug it off Monday. It's a concern, and he fully addressed that concern. No issues with Hawaii when they played them in Honolulu. However, Dayton led by 18 at the half. Auburn led 21-6 out of the gate. Michigan State led by 14 about 12 minutes in. You cannot spot those kinds of teams, especially Auburn, which might be the best team in America, and Michigan State, which is coached by a Hall of Fame legend, and I don't care what their personnel is, it's always going to be a team that can beat you. So anytime you beat Michigan State, it's a great win. Carolina had a chance to, didn't do it, but you don't fall by 14 early, and maybe you only fall behind by 6 or 7, then maybe the Tar Heels are well-positioned to win that game late, but they weren't. Too much to overcome. Now, Hubert was asked because of that if he's given any thought to some lineup changes. Now, what I find fascinating is that he answered the question because I don't recall a time since he took over previously when he would actually answer the question other than to say, it doesn't matter who starts the game, it's who finishes. I want everybody to use what's in their bag, and some guys one night we might not need that bag as much as other nights and so on. He generally doesn't answer the question, but he answered it Monday. He said, yeah, he's been thinking about it. And of course, he said the slow starts have forced him to reevaluate how he's substituting, what some of the playing rotations are, what some of the groupings on the court are, perhaps even the starting lineup, because as an example, Jalen Washington, most of his production has been in the second halves of games this year. He really struggled big time in the first half in Maui, big time. Now, maybe Hubert might think, look, I'm going to go kind of old school here, and I'm going to roll with Jay Wash at the 5, continuing to start because he's going to get better, he's going to figure it out, and he's going to be productive. Or maybe he doesn't. Maybe he takes Jay Wash out and starts Van Allen Lubin in his place. Maybe he moves Withers to the 5 and starts Drake Powell. We don't know. But what we do know is he acknowledged that he has thought about it. And not just the starting lineup, but the waves of players he brings in, who he brings in with it, which players go in together. A lot of times, both freshmen Drake Powell and Ian Jackson go in together. Maybe he staggers that. Maybe Withers comes off the bench, which I think is a fantastic role for him, and he comes in, let's say, with an Ian Jackson. Imagine you bring Withers and Ian Jackson in like the 14-40 mark. You're getting two dynamic athletes who play with tremendous energy, and you get a guy who can rebound some, he can defend some, he's kind of all over the place there, he's a putback guy, and then you get another dude who's got amazing skills. Not a complete player by any means yet, but that's a pretty energetic, potent little twosome that you could put onto the floor to kind of muck things up, to skill things up, to speed things up, to athletic things up, and that can be sort of the second wave, the second line, if you will, if it's hockey. So if they do get off to a little bit of a slow start in those first few minutes, the reinforcers come in and they change the texture of the game. And I kind of like that idea. I kind of like the idea of having Withers come off the bench to help do that. Not to say that he's not worthy of starting, but when you're talking about layering playing groups on the court, I think it might work better that way, because especially with Jay Wash struggling, Withers is not super offensive. And early in the game, the three guards are doing the three guard thing. And I think that sets them up for ruts at times. Perhaps Hubert says the same thing. So to me, I think it's a huge positive that Hubert answered the question. I think it's a huge positive that he said yes. He's thinking about all lineups from the beginning of the game, meaning starters, right on through. Now, Drake Powell's name didn't come up specifically, but you'd have to not understand the game much to watch him play and think, that's an intriguing guy you want to have out there. The problem is, if he starts at the 4, he's not going to start at the 2 or the 3. He's not going to start over RJ or Seth. So you're talking about starting him at the 4, and he's 6'6", 180 pounds, soaking wet. I mean, he plays with great energy. He's a good rebounder, but a 4 at his size starting the game, that's a pretty small group, especially if you flop Lubin for Washington, which I don't think is going to happen. I kind of think it'd be neat to see Lubin at the 5 and Jay Wash at the 4. And I say that because Jay Wash is clearly a stretch player. He doesn't appear super comfortable with his back to the basket for long stretches. He's more comfortable facing the basket and maybe kind of moving out, rotating, running that baseline some. So maybe play him where he's just more comfortable. I think Lubin is comfortable down low, more comfortable there than on the perimeter. He is not Harrison Ingram. Like a lot of people keep saying, he uses his body well. He plays low. He gets his derriere low. He's stronger, and he finishes well at the rim. And he's also, as I said, I believe in the podcast you're going to hear later about some guard play things and assists and turnovers and stuff. He's right now looks like a better screener. He can screen and roll better. He sets a more solid screen. He can disrupt the defense that way and then roll, and he finishes very well. Maybe that's a starting lineup. Who knows? Maybe Hubert sticks with the same thing and figures it's going to work. He's going to try to make it work. It's the substitutions that he tweaks. But the positive out of Monday is that, yes, Hubert is thought about it, and he actually acknowledged to us that he's thought about it. We love it when coaches acknowledge things. We love the transparency, man, because it gives us stuff to talk about, like here, and it gives us stuff to write about, which, of course, we have plenty of that on our site as well. If you're excited about the possibility of some lineup changes, some rotation changes, some player grouping changes, go ahead and click like on this video. If you have not subscribed to our channel, please do so now. It doesn't cost anything to subscribe to this channel. Make sure you tell all your Tar Heel friends that we're here. Hit the notification bell so you get updates every time we upload. And remember, guys, for just $8.33 a month, you can have a 1-year subscription to THI, be a Tar Heel insider, know everything about the coaching search, and you can also use it to buy a gift or gifts for your friends and family who love the Tar Heels like you do. I'm AJ, and I will see you tomorrow.